Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the Next Issue podcast.
And now,
Clay, I gotta say, Clay, out of all the intros you made, I think technically, like just on the fact that you took out all the Madman stuff and just left the dude in the middle, I think that one's my favorite.
I didn't do that. I found that it's just a green screen effect. So
Okay, wait, well, listen,
I won't take credit
you,
for that. I just found it and then just added the Moon Knight stuff that I love in there.
well, I quite
But
enjoy it. I think
we're going to give you
the
credit regardless.
I'll take
that's
it.
right. I think the tank. I mean, obviously, I think that one's my overall favorite.
Oh yeah.
The what?
Yeah, the Cowboy Bebop tank.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if I had any editing skills at all, I would make us a Super Friends intro. Just with that music, right? But
I have looked at that a couple of times to try to
Really?
do something with it, and I just can't come up with something.
Yeah. Hey, listen. You the only way you'll learn is by doing. So give it a
Right.
try.
I will say though that the Parks and Rec and the Office ones were ones I fully edited everything. So I just
That's
took what
awesome.
they had and I
Yeah.
just made it, and I did the wipes just like they did. So those are the ones I'll take credit for.
Very cool.
and you should. Those are also
Um,
great.
Speaking of learning, I want to start off with. Oh, can you guys hear this?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Are you going to
Mm.
play his music? This is awesome.
Did you get a Casio?
It's my iPad, but I learned something because I'm on TikTok all the time, and I'm like, well, I might as well,
Oh my
I might as well,
gosh.
I might as well do something productive out of it. So let's see if it works. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Hold
What's
on.
your
And let's see
account?
if you guys
Hello,
know.
fellow kids.
Yeah, let me see if you guys know what I'm playing. Hold on.
Josh.
Damn it, I fucked it up. Okay. But did you guys hear the first part? Here, let me do it again.
I did. I'm trying to. Is it the is it
It's from a movie.
the score from Man of Steel?
Interstellar.
No? Okay, good. Then we won't be taken by copyright. It's
Okay, nice.
the music from Interstellar
Oh, I said Interstellar.
Oh,
when he's watching the video. But somebody put on Twitter, like on TikTok, like these are the keys you play because it's like this. It's the same. It's like the same sequence of keys. They just the scale.
you just
increases
move
and
off the scale.
stuff. I was like, I do have a keyboard, but I didn't want to pull it out. But I was like, oh wait, my iPad already has that, so I could try that out. So
I wish you had a guitar.
That'd be awesome.
I would love to. So I do know someone I met digitally through the pandemic. His name is Justin the Juice. Go check out his channel because he does guitar covers of a lot of songs. I think you guys would appreciate it. I'll drop a link. in
That
our
is awesome.
Discord.
Yeah, please.
Drop a link. I want to see that.
Well, there's
Yeah.
Danny's rec for the week.
Recommendation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're just gonna
and
do Rex and
he has
reverse.
he has a Patreon, or at least he had a Patreon. I don't know if he still does. Where if you're a patron, like at a certain level, you get to pick a song for him to cover on the channel. So
Oh,
it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's really interesting. I've never heard so many different renditions of songs on a guitar. So it's really interesting. But okay. Yeah, on today's show we got a few different things we want to talk about for the main topic, but as always, we have plenty of comics and other stuff to talk about up front. So we're gonna do that. And then we'll look at a couple of trailers and stuff that came out throughout this week, or at least that we found. So yeah, let's get into it. I want to kick it off with one thing that I finally watched. I finally watched Megan.
Yeah.
okay. So the
the-
world's going gaga for Megan. What'd you think?
It is amazing. It is so much fun. Like
Nice.
the movie, and if anybody wants to go, you can go watch the full review on the channel. But man, it is just so much fun when a movie knows like what it is. It doesn't
Yeah.
take itself too seriously.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So this movie is, I think, it's written by Stuart Jones, I think. Hold on, let me make sure that's the right name. The story's
But
by
it's
James Wan.
James Wan, yeah.
Oh,
The story is James Wan, but the screenplay is by Akiva Cooper.
Okay.
So yeah, it is quite good. Like the doll is really everything in this movie. And there's a lot of it where like there's an actual child playing the doll, like the movements of the doll, and then a different child plays the voice. Um, but it's really well done, and it's really fun. I think it's a different take. I can definitely understand why the internet just took to the movie like immediately.
yeah.
It,
There's
it looks like
definitely
there has to be some sort of stunt person sometimes in that Megan suit, right?
yeah,
Because
no,
doesn't
it's
she do
it's
some amazing?
Amy Donald is the body capture Megan, and then Jenna Davis is the voice. Um, but yeah, it's really fun. It's now on video on demand if you wanna. Um, you can rent it or buy it digitally. I think, and I heard that they're gonna be releasing like an R-rated cut of the movie because it is PG-13, and I can see where you could definitely like amp this up
Right. Okay.
to an R rating. So
What
that
streaming service is this coming to? Is it probably going to hit
it'll
Peacock?
probably end up on HBO. I would think HBO just because of James Wan being behind it. I know he works with WB a lot. It's Bloomhouse, so yeah, it could
That
be
was my next
either.
question. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Blumhouse does some really fun. I mean, they've been doing some really fun stuff if you ignore the Halloween things. Um, but
It's
Man,
really that last Halloween thing. It really.
throwing some
no,
shade
to me,
at
it's the
Jamie
last.
Lee Curtis over here.
To me, it's the last two. Look, I wanted Jamie Lee Curtis to go out with a bang, but anyways, we've already talked about Halloween for a few times, so we won't go back on that. So yeah, I just wanted to start off with that. I'll let you guys talk about some other stuff, but yeah, go watch Megan. If well, I guess you might as well buy it because renting it is like $20 right now because it's still at the theater. So you might
Good
as well buy
Lord.
it.
Yeah, but you know what? I hate when I buy a movie that turns out to be just pure shit, and then it's in your
Mm.
library, and you keep looking at it it reminds you spent money on it.
Yeah, but according to Danny, it's not pure shit. So it's a
Yeah.
solid buy.
All right, it's
Now,
a
then
guarantee
again,
or your money back, right?
yeah. Well, I don't know about that. You could ask James Wan for your money, I guess, or in
Oh,
lieu of, in lieu
I
in
would.
lieu of payment, James Wan can just come on the show.
That'd be
Oh
great,
my
actually.
god.
Tell us about Aquaman 3, which I'm sure is not happening.
Yeah, he did a Fast and Furious movie. I have questions
We
about
we will
the
just
family.
we'll do a live reading of whatever he was thinking of doing for that
You
Trench
know,
movie.
he also directed one of the best Star Trek films out there.
Yeah, see,
I
something for
that's
everyone.
one I haven't seen. I need to watch that one.
All right, I will defend Beyond.
Any Star Trek movie with the Beastie Boys, I'm in.
That was the first movie.
No, that was the third movie.
A third movie. That's
Beyond.
how they
The
beat 'em.
third one?
Beyond,
I thought
yeah.
the first one is the one where they showed the young James Kirk.
Well, yeah, but in the third movie, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but they used the song.
Sabotage.
confuse-
Oh, that's right. The frequency thing.
Come on, classic Star Trek trope.
I'm not a fan of these last three. I just really think. I mean, like you might have to remind people. Idris Elba was in one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And,
he's the
and
villain.
yeah, they covered him with makeup. You don't remember any scene he was in or anything he did, right?
Yeah,
Oh, and
Okay.
so I like the first one. I think it's a pretty solid way to
Intro.
reboot but still honor the original. The second one, how the hell do you bring in Cumberbatch to be your big bad guy and waste him like that?
No
The second one
shit.
sucks.
The second one is a great copy. Again, it's
Yeah. Which is what Abrams does. This is what's so infuriating.
yeah, like if you had that property, you could do some really cool shit. And he's like, no, I just want to do Wrath of Khan again.
Right, exactly. Ah, so terrible.
hey, I gotta say, there's definitely a market for like people that don't want to go back and watch the old movies and just like Get now. I'm not talking like Psycho level where you just remake it shot by shot, but in color. Sorry, James. Sorry, Vince Vaughn.
Kyle's about to die.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Hold on, he's
I
about-
mean, hold on. Everyone concentrate. There's something possessing Kyle's
I
life.
think he's being called back to Omicron. Right? Is that what they're out about this one? There it
The
is.
Allspark is dying at Kyle's place.
Kyle, shove it in his chest.
Uh,
All right, you gotta tag that one, Danny,
Yeah.
to clip it.
All right. Yeah, I'll come back, but you guys, I'll let you go, and we'll go around. Bye.
Oh, no. Go someone else.
Oh,
right.
Jump out
I'll
for a
go.
second.
I will start with the 3 issues about this week I haven't read yet, which is no disservice to them. A little more Tradmore in my life, Doctor Strange, False
the same
Sunrise
one.
number 3. What?
I got the same cover.
Oh, you did? Nice. Yeah. This one, I mean, they were all kind of hard to pick from, but this one just really jumped out at me.
Wow.
Dead Seas issue 2. I got this cover because it was quite nice.
I think Kyle would really like this.
I can see that. I'm still a little like this issue might make or break me because again, do we need a grittier prison version of Ghostbusters? I don't know, but I'm still gonna read it and see. And then Detective Comics number, good God, what is this? 10,068 or 1068.
Yep. Yep.
So anyway, so those I hadn't gotten to. Do you want me to just do 1 or 2 that I've read?
Yeah,
and
do a
we'll
couple
go-
more. I think Clay's got to go let out the dog, so we'll go to you. We'll go to Kyle. Maybe I'll
Okay.
jump back in. And
I'm gonna save the one I'm really most hyped about for last.
what a show!
all right. Murder World, Wolverine. I still hate the way they're numbering these. It
Yeah.
just pisses me off. But the
Yep.
issue itself is fine. It's great. It's again this book is no holds barred. I mean, it is like it is so deadly.
Yep.
And I'm curious what's going to happen. So next issue is Moon Knight, and
Yes.
then it's going to end, right?
And then one
So the
final
issue-
round. I think it's called.
Right. Okay. It seems like so far, and it took this one for it to click. Every issue is introducing a new, like focusing in on somebody else playing the game. So it's like you get like a different perspective every issue, but it's also kind of building a core, which clearly will probably come back in the last issue. Again, just it's an interesting conceit. I don't like the way it's being numbered or released, you know. So anyway, and that's a super minor point of me being nitpicky.
No, it's a. I mean, I was on the latest episode of RCB. Like
That's
I
right,
talked
yeah.
about that. Like that was my one big gripe against like these, especially the big 2 right now, where they do that a lot. They'll just give you one shots that should be like a mini series or a graphic novel, but they break it. I'm like, I talked about like I understand number 1 sell better, and yeah, if you call something Murder Wolverine, like who's not going to want to pick it up?
yeah.
Right.
Uh,
But you can't just pick this up and
right,
follow
you
the story.
exactly.
I mean, it's impossible.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't. Yeah. Anyway, I have no words other than wait till it's collected, and then it'll be easier to read and know what order to read it in.
It's gonna be so much fun because digitally they'll just put it under like when I redeem the digital codes, it's just under the Murder World series.
Right, and that's the other thing is it's not like these are each called. It's not Avengers : Murder World, right? Which from just an alphabetical standpoint kind of screws things up. Everyone is Murder World : whatever hero they're facing.
Can you
can number
imagine?
that.
Yeah, can you imagine if like let's say I gift you like all 5 issues,
Right,
and then you have to figure out what order to read them in.
I know it's It's so weird. It is
Oh,
so
ridiculous.
weird.
So ridiculous. All right. Yep.
All right, I'll do one more, and then we can come back around to me if you want, or I can do all mine. I've only got like
Go for
3
it.
left.
Sure.
Okay. Super fun. Is
that Sergeant Rock?
Yeah, sorry. So
Okay.
this is Sergeant Rock versus Army of the Dead, issue 5 of 6. This is the alt cover.
Yeah, I read this one.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's the sort of book I would hand someone. It's like, I like World War II and horror, and I'm like, here, just read this. I mean, there's not, it doesn't do anything new or unique. It's just a fun book. What do you think, Kyle?
I think it's fun. The best way to put it. It's nothing like standout in my opinion, but I mean, it's just it's just them. It's Bruce. I almost said Bruce Willis. It's Bruce Campbell having fun just writing a story, and zombies versus World War II. In World War II,
I got a question because I only read the first one to check it out.
Okay.
Does Sergeant Rock feel anything like Ash? Do you guys think like Bruce Campbell's putting any Ash into him?
No, but I've read the original. I read comic books from the original Sergeant Rock from like the 70s and 80s, and yeah, he feels just like his normal self. I mean, it's more of the zombie side where Bruce Campbell's kind of writing himself in, and not initially himself, but is writing his kind of experience instead of putting himself in the actual book.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good question because I feel like, and again, Kyle, you probably know more. You do know more about this than I do. I think he really gets Sergeant Rock and Easy Company. Like he knows them as characters. He's not just they handed it to him because he's Bruce Campbell and he's good with like horror and comedy.
Exactly.
There is one moment I really, really loved. I don't think it's actually a spoiler, but I'm kind of curious if like, I don't know if Sergeant Rock continues on from this point, if this will become a thing. In the last issue, he lost his lighter. So in this one, as they are flying to the new event, they give him a new lighter that says "Fuck Nazis, Easy Company." And I just love that so much.
Hell yeah, that's canon.
It's great. I mean, I kind of question where the hell they would have been able to get that made.
They got it. They got it at one of those things remembered in the mall.
Yes, they just went to the mall like the rest of us. So
you missed it, Clay. We're talking about fuck Nazis, so
yeah,
you're gonna have to go back and watch.
Okay, last two. Junkyard Joe issue was this 4. Continues to be good. The art is great. The story is compelling. It takes a turn in this one. So what I think up to this point had been a fairly kind of intimate, family-driven story, and a story about like friendship will clearly turn into something more action-oriented next issue. Let's put it that way. But again, just good. Like this week, the comics are just good. That's all I can say. They didn't do anything special. There wasn't any, except for in one case. It was just, they were just good, solid reads. I sat down, I read them, I enjoyed them, I set them aside.
That's all we can ask for. Good comics.
Exactly. Until we come to the illustrious return of Saga.
Woo!
All right, did you read this, Danny?
No,
you're waiting for the trades.
I'm trade waiting it, yeah. But
Holy shit. Okay, I'm not going to say anything other than this. If you are reading Saga month to month and you haven't read this issue yet, go pick it up because something happens at the end and that changes everything. So just go read it. It's so good.
I'll go ask. I'll ask Image to send them. They give it. So some books they don't release them until the release date. So I'll
yeah.
I need to know because just based on the cover, it looks like there's a time jump.
Yes, and I was saying this in our Discord chat.
Yeah,
it's taking me 61 issues to realize, and I would say I've read a huge portion of this month to month. I mean, there have been gaps where I just read the trade, but for the most part, I think from the beginning, I've kind of read this monthly. it took me this long to realize that Staples and Vaughn have kind of hit a rhythm where when they take a break, when they come back, the characters have aged up. And so Hazel is now, she looks to be like maybe 11.
Yeah,
Kind of on the cusp of teenagedom. She's getting a little rebellious. And, you know, and so like I asked the question, like that strangely seems to work really well in a serial format, right? Because I haven't read the book in months and I pick up this issue and there's like you said, a time jump, and it feels natural because there's been a time jump for me as a reader, right? So I wonder what's going to happen when you read them in trade or collected, where you end last issue and you come to the next one, and there's no like, you know, there's no text that says like 2 years later, right? It just you're suddenly just like there. I just wonder how that's going to work, but
I think that's a good way to do it, especially when like at the end of every volume they just kick you in the crotch, and then they walk away for like a year.
Exactly.
I mean, they have editors for just the collections. I would hope that someone would like at least put like a preface to like this time period, you know, has advanced or something.
Well, okay, so hang on.
Unless it's just like, I mean, only if it's really completely not obvious. And it took, I mean, how long did it take you to figure that out that the time was the time to go?
Okay, yeah, I'm flipping back through the issue. I'll say this. The opening page is a flashback to long before Saga even begins. All right. So you already have a sense of time disrupted. And then I actually picked up on it before we see the main characters, Hazel and her mom and her brother, we see other characters and they've aged up. And it's at that moment you realize, oh, there's been a lot of time. So they do kind of organically lead into it. It's not like just something like the first page is like we've jumped ahead 4 years, you know? Right. So I don't know. Man, it's so good. I love Saga.
I've read the first 2 volumes and I've not gone back, and I don't know why, because I know everyone loves it. I've never heard a bad comment about it, but now I feel like it's so much.
If you want, so there was a Humble Bundle.
Oh, I have that. I have the digital.
Okay, I was gonna say, like during the big break, like during COVID, when they were off for like 2 years, there was a Humble Bundle that basically caught you up, and so yeah, that was the best way, and I think that was the point when I went back to buying them monthly, because I basically got caught up on the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, but that's it for me this week.
Cool.
So it's been a light week.
All right. Well, Kyle, we'll go to you, and then we'll go back to you, Clay, in a minute.
Okay.
One of the books I read was TMNT: The Last Run in the Lost Years.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah, I figured you had it. It sort of starts off after the last Ronin book, but then starts as a prequel. You see that April's daughter is basically training 4 new mutated turtles that she believes she's supposed to be doing in honor of Mikey, and then but not doing a great job, and the turtles are kind of like picking on each other, and these turtles do not look like each other. They can be more different than, you know, night and day. But then they start when looking at it, they kind of rebound to a story about Mikey, like kind of training between when he lost his whole family and then before he goes to start the book of the Astral Lost Ronin. And it kind of goes back and forth with him kind of climbing this mountain, going to this old Japanese temple where everyone's been killed, and he ends up taking out the people who stopped them. But also goes flashbacks to like the last battle with Splinter and his brothers, and him being afraid, saying, "I can't kill him." And Splinter's like, "You have to." Like, I can't do it, Master Splinter. And it's just starting up a story about basically kind of learning how Mikey kind of gets to that point where he goes back to like the New Japan / New York City to take down the last remnant of the Shredder and the Foot.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I enjoyed is that each time period has a different artist.
Yeah.
So like the stuff with in the future, or I guess is the present. Yeah, because it would be the stuff in the present with Casey and the New Turtles, that drawn by one person. and then all the flashbacks to like Mikey run around Europe and all the whatever he was going. That's drawn by a different artist, and then Kevin Eastman himself draws anything having to do with Master Splinter's journal, which is really cool. Like to see, like just drop in a page or two of Kevin Eastman every once in a while in a Turtles book. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I enjoyed that one too.
So Last Ronin, which we'll be reading this year in the book club, it reunited Eastman and Laird, right? Because didn't one of them basically step aside from everything, and it was the other one that kind of just
after a while. I saw the documentary, and I can't remember which one it was. It's
I think it's Laird that's kind of been away.
The older one. Who's the older one?
Laird, I think.
Yeah, the Laird stepped away.
Kevin Eastman's still pretty involved with the comics and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, because didn't Kevin Eastman step away to do heavy metal for a while when he bought that?
I think from what I remember, the last Ronin is a story that Laird and Eastman had kind of been toying around doing like back in the day, just because with, the Dark Knight Return, it was pretty much their Dark Knight Returns, right? And it feels like that in some ways. But yeah, I can't wait to see what the book club thinks about it. I quite enjoyed it, and I'm really glad we could revisit it, but also not just in rereading the original series, but also with a new series that will expand more in that journey. So cool.
The next one I read was the new Darkwing Duck #1.
I almost picked that up.
It's fun. It's basically a continuation of the series. It's starting off with Darkwing on top of one of the buildings, and he's doing his I am the darkness that lives in the night. And
great cover.
That's the main reason I picked it up. I wasn't planning on it, but yeah.
It's a fun book. But he ends up slipping. He gets caught on this gargoyle with his cape. Launchpad comes over and says, "We got to get down because they're trying to do Darkwing Duck Appreciation Day." and the Darkwing gets caught. And then when Launchpad's trying to help him, he ends up getting caught in the cape too. And then they go down. They actually go down, and they're having appreciation. So there's one person who wants to appreciate Darkwing, and he thinks it's like his girlfriend, the Morgana kind of character, and it ends up being his next door neighbor, the kind of a really annoying father who owns like a computer company, and you see everyone takes out their phones and his smartphones, and Megavolt comes and ends up basically shooting out a thing where basically takes over and says you got to kill Darkwing. So it's the whole he's trying to stop the city from killing him, and it's just a fun story. If you watch the original series, it's kind of written and done in the tone of the original animated cartoon.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Man, they had a ton of alt covers. There was 6? There were a lot.
There was a lot.
Yeah. Almost as much as the Gargoyles.
Yeah. And even Gargoyles 2 that came out. I think Gargoyles 2 came out this week as well.
No, last week.
Oh yeah, that one still had a lot of covers. Which is something that Dynamite does do a lot. And I find it interesting that Dynamite is, these are Disney properties, right? Both Gargoyles and Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, but they have a license with Dynamite for it now.
Yeah, that's what it's interesting that they haven't kind of fought to bring it back to Marvel. Now that they're, like all the other ones, like Predator and Alien.
Just because Disney owns Marvel doesn't mean they can't license out to another company. This is Disney, not Marvel, doing the licensing out.
All right. What else, Kyle? What else we got?
I read Justice Society of America #2, which this is getting good. So it's basically Huntress waking up in the JSA, and this is sort of the JSA. I want to say before Crisis, maybe even before, a little bit before Crisis. I know the time lineage is different, but you could say maybe if we're going pre-Crisis history, maybe during the 70s, kind of JSA kind of stuff. But then you have her explain, hey, I'm from the future and all this stuff. And so Dr. Fate tries to go over and touch her to see if he can see the future. And he basically, because of what's going on, gets sent back to the 40s, where he's in the swamp with his protege, the one I showed last week. It's like the witch girl. And he goes, who are you? And it's like, I'm your protege, blah, blah, blah. We're supposed to be meeting Mr. Miracle to help stop Solomon Grundy. And you see Mr. Miracle show up, but it's not Mr. Miracle. It's the first Mr. Miracle. His name's Thaddeus. Mm-hmm. And so the 1940s Mr. Miracle, apparently before we ever had, current Mr. Miracle. And basically, and then they stop Grundy, but he gets flashback even later. and you find out later that the person who, I don't remember I brought this up, but the person who basically in the first issue who killed that new future JSA is an old enemy of theirs, Per Degaton. And so basically it's kind of where you have Dr. Fate kind of going back and forth like this, like he's going, because of the helmet, he's going back and forth through time, kind of seeing the history, and it just kind of leaves you like to see how this and basically has him kind of going through time. And at one point, I love this. So they have this one page, it's a 4-piece. They have 1941. It's him and his protege fighting Solomon Grundy with Mr. Miracle 13 years ago, which is Catwoman doing something. Then they have 8 years ago, where it's basically Extant taking on and killing the JSA. So we have 0 hour in this history now, which I'm happy about. And then you have 1 year ago. So, and it's them going through time. And so I think they're just starting off this history where Per Degaton is going through time, trying to kill off the, and the last scene is where after he shot Huntress into the future, and now it's she's in this alleyway with Detective Chimp, Deadman, and Khalid, Dr. Fate. And they're going to be continued.
I love Detective Chimp.
I gotta say, reading, I'm glad Kyle talked about it, because reading this month to month, this series is very confusing because of all the time jumping around. So I'm glad to get a recap on this one from Kyle. Cool.
And the last one,
I see a big one.
Oh yeah, Action Comics number 1051.
Oh my god, what a banger!
A lot of super people.
Have you read this one, Daniel?
It is amazing. Yeah. Go ahead.
Go for it. You talk about it.
Well, look, I just so this is a new starting point, of course. This is the first book, Dawn of DCU, but this is now the Superman family book.
Yeah.
Right. This is how they're gonna treat it. Like, there's moments here where they're all just kind of hanging out at this the small apartment,
and you find out who the other two twins are. So
you find out the twins that are coming from Warworld.
They're kids from Warworld who have superpowers. So basically, they're given the costumes, and they're now part of the super family. Which are find out that are basically still stealing his niece, but they start a new like firm, they're rich also, and start a new company that's going to help Metropolis, but the super family are going to be a part of that. So
it's Superman, the new twins, Supergirl, John Kent, the Superman from China,
Connell,
and then Steel and his niece. I think that's everyone. Yeah.
Okay. I have one question. Does this water down the concept of the last Kryptonian that is part of Superman lore and part of his backstory of being the last survivor? Because now we have this entire super family.
But the only one that's actually from Krypton is Supergirl and Superman.
Yeah.
Everyone else is from somewhere else, or they're a different part. The kids are from Warworld, from Mongol Warworld, so they're not Kryptonians.
Yeah.
John is Superman's son, and Khan is his clone, so they're both made on Earth. Superman from China has a whole different backstory.
He's a human who's been basically given superpowers.
Yeah. So this I don't think this would, unless they start introducing a whole bunch of Kryptonian villains.
But come on, given the fact that now we have everything in the DC universe is now back part of continuity. There's not really a last Kryptonian thing anymore.
Yeah,
you have the Bottle City of Kandor. You have the Phantom Zone. It's there is no last Kryptonian anymore.
Yep. Which is so ironic, because that is the entire crux of Batman Fortress.
That's an alternate universe.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, I guess to Clay's point, the idea of the last Kryptonian is what drives that separate story, right?
I gotta say, so the second story on this. So this has 3 stories actually. It's a big.
My favorite part is they're all having fun in the Kent's apartment.
Oh yeah,
Jonathan playing Mortal Kombat with Superman from China, and he thinks he's gonna win, but basically Superman in China wipes the floor with him, and he basically goes fatality, and he goes, "You lied to me." So he goes in looking for a board game, opens the closet. He sees Superman's costume from Warworld with the chains and everything, and he goes, "Mom, why do you still have Superman?"
Yeah.
I saw people talking about this online.
Lois comes in, closes the doors, what are you looking for? And he goes, I'm looking for board games. Those are in the hall causing DC John to go, oh God.
I saw a whole subreddit discussing Superman and Lois's kinks.
Yeah. And then, so on the second story, we go back to the Rebirth, at the beginning of Rebirth, when Superman and Lois lived in the farm with John. So I'm glad we're doing this because I was not a fan of DC aging up John. I really liked him as a kid, hanging I don't know why I read somewhere that they did it because they thought they might lose Superman's rights or something, so they wanted to have their own. I don't know. It's a whole rabbit hole that you can go down on. But this one's written by Dan Jurgens, who Dan Jurgens writing Superman, and then with art by Lee Wicks. So just good combo. Back in the farm, really, really I really like this second story. And then of course we have some shenanigans being dropped off at the end of the story. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then the third story it's all about Power Girl and how she's changed because of all this Lazarus nonsense that's going on. So they touch on everyone on the Super family. So I quite liked it. I think if you're a fan of Superman, it's a good time to be reading these comics.
Yeah, and that's kind of all I got.
Okay, cool. All right, we skipped Clay, so we'll go back to Clay, and then I'll jump on with some more stuff because I got a bunch of comics here to talk about.
Yeah, I found the library. It was just a collection of Ant-Man, Giant Man stories, but it's pretty good. I mean, I had classic Yellow Jacket stories where you really get to see this guy as a complete asshole.
Right. Yeah.
In early Avengers stuff. He's so unappealing as a character. You wonder why Hank Pym was around for so long. He's just terrible. They get to fight classic villains like the Eraser, but in one issue, the Whirlwind. What is Whirlwind's power?
He's a tornado. First tornadoes.
He defeats Thor, but then is defeated by Yellow Jacket and the Beast. But again, classic Avengers stories. It's so funny to watch or read and see how it's explained how Thor is defeated by Whirlwind.
Funny you bring up Whirlwind because he was he showed up in the Wasp series that started off last week.
Yeah,
that follows Janet and
her
daughter and her daughter. Interesting. Just interesting coincidence. I guess not really interesting itself.
And Whirlwind's also undercover, and Hank doesn't know that he's also his chauffeur.
Oh man, this is a whole aspect to 60s and 70s Marvel. I forget that, it goes back to that whole Ditko Lee debate about the Green Goblin, right?
Yeah. Should it be someone you know or not know?
Or not, right? Exactly. And honestly, they're both kind of right. I mean, I think from a fan perspective, Lee was right? Fans want everything tied together.
Yeah.
But I think from just a natural narrative perspective, Ditko was right. It should be some rando, and you don't know who it is. So
yeah. The next is a weird collection of 90s stuff written by George Perez.
Interesting.
Not drawn. And you can tell it's not drawn because it is somebody trying to be Rob Liefeld.
Oh.
And that's the most I'm going to say about that without just really shitting on it. But the last story in this is just insane because it is Hank Pym has slept with Jocasta and Tigra in a way in this story because they're talking. It's so weird. It's
isn't Jocasta like a machine?
Yeah, yes. Android.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Don't ask.
I mean,
this is actually Avengers Academy issue 7, and it is Hank dealing with the fact that Tigra has had a child with a Skrull that was impersonating him. And then describes and this is I guess the way it works in Marvel Universe. If a Skrull imitates you, half of its DNA is actually part of you.
Oh,
so half that or a quarter of that child is Hank Pym because of a Skrull imitating him.
What the fuck?
Hold on, time out. Let me rewind real quick. So
Also, what a Tigra baby would look like.
oh, hold on. Let me blow you up. Blow me up, Tom. Oh, okay. Well, very cool.
Okay.
Takes after the mother.
Yes, exactly. So it's just very weird. But then it gets kind of interesting. There's like Hank decides he's just going to bring Janet back to life because she's died in this universe, and then he fights Absorbing Man.
Okay, let me rewind real quick. So, and Kyle, please correct me at any point if I'm incorrect. Wasn't Jocasta made for Vision?
No.
Okay.
Jocasta was made by Ultron to be put and use the memory.
Even worse. Okay, this is even worse now because Ultron is Hank Pym's kid.
Yeah, but Ultron was going to basically make Jocasta using the memory engrams of the Wasp, sort of like how they used Wonder Man's engrams for the Vision.
Oh boy! Oh, this is real incestuous. I don't like it at all.
But you see the whole thing about like Hank Pym having sex with Jocasta. Come on, how many years did Wanda have sex with the Vision?
Right.
But
Wanda is not related in any way to Hank Pym. Is kind of having sex with his granddaughter.
Do AIs have relatives?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with no. I'm gonna go with no.
Have you met what is Ultron's brother, Victor de la Mancha, or whatever his name is? What? You guys know Ultron's brother?
No.
Ultron's got a brother? How did that happen?
I think Daniel's making shit up.
No.
I would love that his name would just be like Jeff.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Ultron
maybe
and
it's
Jeff.
Vision's brother.
But I got to show you this one page from this comic. I just to get back to this because in this series, Hank Pym is also Giant Man, and he fights Crusher Creel for some reason, or I mean, Absorbing Man, who can for some reason get big now.
No, he's done that. He's done that in the past. There was an issue of the Joe Fixit Hulk where he actually takes on different like personalities. He's able to grow like with electricity and other things.
Yeah, so Hank decides to just break his mind and just take him as big as possible.
The in-betweener.
Yeah, and he's like there with the Living Tribunal. It's insane. This is like a weird book because it starts off with just Hank and Tiger are going to try to co-parent, and then all of a sudden he blows up the Absorbing Man into this Living Tribunal and cracks his brain. Like he doesn't understand like the magnitude of what he's seen when he's been blown up this big. It's a really good story.
What is the connective tissue in this collection other than Giant Man? I mean, what a weird ass assortment of stories.
Yeah, and it's like all just like one issue, but it's fun and weird, and you get to know Tiger's thoughts on what a good parent is.
Okay, that's okay.
Oh, here it is, the family tree.
So that's Ant-Man, and his kid is Ultron.
Oh yeah,
I was wrong. Victor is Vision's brother.
Oh, okay.
So see, that's what I was talking about, Victor here. I mean, come on, guys. Tom King laid it all out for us here. And it's still weird. It's still weird
because almost as bad as the X-Men family tree about who else related to who and all that.
Yeah, like the Summers family tree.
Oh my God! No! I've seen the whole thing because you've got. I mean, sometimes like you've got the Wolverine family tree interacting with the Summers family tree interacting with the Wagner family tree.
I saw that Nightcrawler's hooked up with Rachel Summers.
Oh yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't want a piece of that?
Really weird because they were teammates when she was a kid.
Oh yeah,
right.
And we can tie this one into that one because we have Nocturne, who's the daughter of Scarlet Witch and Nightcrawler.
Yes, in exile.
And although if you think about it, Nightcrawler died in 2012, so he's actually this new Nightcrawler's pretty young when he came back.
Oh, okay.
Also, with these resurrection protocols,
did they DH him? Did they DH him?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I don't think they did.
But
yeah, because it seems like he was the same when he came
back.
Yeah,
it was.
I guess also with everybody kind of being reborn all the time with this Krakoa resurrection, like they're all like 1 or 2 years old.
Get rid of Krakoa.
They're just a few months old. They're all a few months old. Hey, if you want Krakoa to come to an end, And I'll plug this in real quick because I'll talk about it in a second.
Go for it.
There's so many books. Sinister,
the
finally, all
Sinister.
his fucking machinations. Yeah, but go ahead, Clay. I'll talk about it in a second.
Oh no, that was it on the book. I've got Nick Spencer's run of Ant-Man coming up because I just haven't read enough Ant-Man, and I'm getting excited for Quantum Mania, so I want to read, Scott Lang stuff.
Oh no, we'll talk about it later. Never
Let's see. Has anyone watched Troll on Netflix?
mind. No.
Okay, it's weird because it's a new movie, but it was made in Norway. And it uses kind of the formula of like early 2000s American action films, but it's done in a different country, and it's kind of fun, like because the way it's going to play out in the format, but it has like really good special effects. So you just watch this troll kind of run through and kill a bunch of people. If you want to watch a weird, fun film, check that out. I saw. Data, you watched The Last of Us first 2 episodes. Fantastic.
Oh yeah, what a show!
Yeah, Pedro Pascal's doing SNL this weekend too. I wonder if they're going to parody it at all.
With Coldplay.
With Coldplay.
With Coldplay.
Man, that was fun fact. Daniel does not like Coldplay.
Now, I wanted to present this question because HBO Max has just been like a place of canceled TV.
Right.
Do we think The Last of Us will last longer than 1 season?
I believe I just saw. So the actor playing the girl.
Yeah.
Said they've already announced there will be a season 2.
Yeah. So I think. This show is like an HBO proper. It's not an HBO Max original.
Okay.
I think that's a big distinction.
All right.
Like
my concern is when they put out a good show, they cancel it, and like we saw that this week, they canceled Titans and Doom Patrol.
Well, they're ending the shows. I don't know that they're canceling. I think there's a big difference too, and there's like they gave them a heads up. They're like, all right, this is your last season. Wrap it up. I think that's different than like what they did.
That makes sense.
But for The Last of Us, they have the 2 games, right, already like plotted out. And I've heard Craig Mason talk about like they've already started looking at how to adapt the second game. But that second game has the story's a lot more complex. I think the first game, the story's pretty linear. I haven't played the games, but my brother has. So we've talked about it. And the story's a lot more linear in the first game. Which he was saying that season 1 may cover the whole first game. Like it's not a very long story. So I gotta say, I do love my favorite part of the shows, and
it's like a live action walkthrough.
Kind of. But the thing that the show's doing very well, I think, is the cold opens that those are for world building.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, that's not from the games at all. Like it's probably like you would maybe read it in a letter or something in the game. I don't know. But yeah, I think those are really well done, and I'm behind, but you should listen to the podcast that they put out because it's Craig Mason and Neil Druckmann, I think, who are both running the show.
Yeah.
And it's hosted by Troy Baker, who voices Joel. And you guys know Troy Baker. So yeah, really fun. I am really, really happy about this show. Like I'm glad to have something to watch. I love watching TV Sunday nights and just like big shows. So like House of the Dragon ended, and then this kind of picked it up. So I can't wait to see what's next. I think HBO owns Sunday nights as far as I'm concerned.
So regarding the Doom Patrol Titans cancellation, I like how Gunn had to come out with a statement being like that was decided before I came on board. like there is so much bad blood right now, I think, with all the DCU properties.
Well, and that's another reason why I don't think Last of Us is going to be canceled. It's not DC property.
Well, there is that. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, my big concern is this guy who owns this, like, selling off DC to somebody else like Amazon.
Can you imagine if he does that and Disney buys DC?
That'd be the worst fucking thing ever.
I mean, we would be back again to that moment in the 90s when Marvel went bankrupt and everyone was talking about what if DC buys Marvel, right? Like, you know, so
it would be the worst thing in the world. I mean, them having that chunk of real estate.
I mean, but can you imagine Feige having control of a DC?
You'd have to clone 3 of them to try to integrate that into.
No. He does it separately. Like, don't integrate it, but just give him control of it.
Here's the question: is it Marvel or is it Disney that buys DC?
Well, Disney owns Marvel.
No, but I think if Marvel buys it, they'd probably have, but that's Marvel under their umbrella. But if Disney buys it, they have full control, saying, "We're going to keep this slightly separate from you guys. We can, if we want to bring things together, we can." But
no, I see your point, but they also haven't. I mean, they bought Fox, and suddenly we're getting Simpsons, Star Wars mashups. I mean,
yeah, but that's Disney saying we want to bring it together. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I got you. Yeah,
that is such a big chunk of the market. They could start defining page rates and just start. You know, you'd have to really have a comics union to battle something that big. And the comics, you know, like the comics that we would want, you know, from the titles we want, we wouldn't be able to afford certain writers. It would just be like whoever they could get in to fill in. They know people will just buy it to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see an attempt at them buying DC also being overseen by the Fed, right? Like they're gonna have to see is this a monopoly, you know? So,
but with Image having such a big chunk, I don't think so. I don't think they could prove it was be a monopoly because what has DC got? Like 30% of the market, while Marvel has like 49,
look at what's
50.
going on with hopefully this whole Ticketmaster thing has some laws that kind of change some of those things. I will say, I would love to see Harley as a Disney princess.
But it has to be the one from the animated series.
Oh God, yes.
Just like trolling the whole Disney princess idea.
I can't wait.
What I miss is like Amalgam, you know, kind of those event books where they would get together and do something fun. You know, I miss that. And I think that would be a huge get if they could do it now.
Shout out to Jeff in the chat. I think they integrate them slowly, like when WWE bought WCW. If I'm reading a Wolverine comic and Batman just runs in like in a real rumble,
body slams the bad guy and then runs out.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like what Marvel characters would go hang out in Gotham?
None of them. They would
Moon Knight,
Daredevil,
Blade.
I think Daredevil's busy enough with his 3 blocks of New York.
Luke Cage.
What Marvel heroes would you love to see go up against Lex Luthor?
Mr. Fantastic.
No, I feel like they would unite. I feel like that's how Reed turns into a villain. I feel like Reed's always very close to like turning into like the what's the name of the Reed from the Ultimate Universe?
No, Tony Stark.
That's a good one. I like that.
I've got a really, really bad idea that I kind of want to see come to fruition now.
Oh,
Lex Luthor's perfect I can't think of the word. Henchman.
Oh yeah.
The Absorbing Man, who touches his one piece of kryptonite.
Oh shit. Oh shit. I kind of love that.
He's always he's a kryptonite on him.
Yeah. Yep. And then suddenly Absorbing Man becomes Superman's worst enemy ever.
Oh no. I would like to see like if Disney bought DC, the last DC book I would love to see would be Galactus showing up to destroy Earth and the Justice League, the Titans, and everyone couldn't save Earth.
Oh.
But then Man-Thing shows up with the Nexus of all reality, and they can leave, but they're going to abandon their Earth, and it's going to die.
I want the comic to be Galactus is coming, and as that happens, we cut to another panel where somebody like just these like ethereal voices are talking, like, oh, no one can beat the Rage of Galactus, and then the anti-monitor just says, "Hold my beer." All right, I think
that would be great.
I just want a panel of Man-Thing pointing at Swamp Thing.
Yes.
I want to go back to the.
team up.
I want to go back to the Zordman having the kryptonite. Then you have Parasite come in and goes, "You can't be doing this because he's my dude to kill."
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
I just had another one. Oh, what about I just had it in my head. No, for why am I blanking on this? Oh no, for take on Lex, Dr. Octopus.
Oh God, that would be a great team up. Shit.
Think about when he took over Peter and actually created Parker Industries, and he has that mentality of Lex Luthor, kind of like
what happens when Absorbing Man and the Parasite touch?
Amalgam.
They just fused. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. It was the Maker. I appreciate it. Yep.
What team do you want to see go up against Darkseid from Marvel that's not the Avengers?
If we went back in time, I'd say West Coast, but
you know what? I think X-Force. X-Force.
Yeah, that's good.
I like Rick
led by
Remender's
Cable for
Uncanny
sure.
X-Force.
Yeah, led by Cable. They got some big hitters right now.
Oh fuck! Uncanny X-Force versus Darkseid.
Deadpool.
Oh, Guardians.
Wait, which Guardians? Because I was about to throw out the original Guardians.
All of them.
All of them. Yeah, that would be call all of them.
We need to expand. We need to expand on this idea on a later.
Yeah, I know. It's a pretty solid idea. Yeah,
I'd like to see have the you have the future Guardians who somehow get warped into another reality or who get on a mission and they run into the Legion of Superheroes.
Okay,
that makes sense.
I got one last question. Who from the let's say the universe is fused and a Green Lantern dies. Who from Marvel does that ring go to first?
Ooh,
Cap.
Yeah.
Mm.
Holy shit! Captain America with the
in any
ring.
Cap. It could be Sam. It could
Daredevil.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
The man with
interesting.
The man with
no fear. Oh, that's like. Also, Josh, while you brought up the Caps,
yeah, that's a good debate. Shit.
I think Jeff in the chat, Doc Ock and Lex Luthor team up in the Superman Amazing Spider-Man from
19. They did. I have that. That's right. They did team up. Yeah.
Oh man, that's
right.
I didn't even know the thing.
Yeah. Here's
Josh,
one.
There's a new cover that shows that Sam and Steve are gonna be fighting in the future, but I don't know why. We're not even 10 in and they're already fighting.
Damn it. And the thing is, I'm only reading one of those titles because the Sam title just
That's
didn't.
why they did it. That's why they're doing it. So you have to read both.
To bring me back? Fuck.
Yeah, you're the
So
problem.
that Josh guy's not reading the Sam title. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Hold on.
Blow that up.
I love how available that was to you, Kyle.
Hold on. Yeah, if I can. So you have Doc Ock going into Superman and Spider-Man take on Lex.
Can I just say, I like the fact that in 1976, DC and Marvel get together, and DC's like, we got Superman. Who do you want to pair him with? And Marvel's like, Spider-Man? What a weird power set combination.
No,
hey, you know what? I have another book.
It makes sense because it was the easiest color scheme to match. So because of the limited printing capabilities, we got a lot of red and blue here.
But that's a prestige format book, right?
They did a second one where basically they have the villains are Dr. Doom and the Parasite.
That's a good thing.
And they had the Hulk and Wonder Woman guest star. And this is the one where basically you have the Hulk versus Superman. So it's the Incredible Hulk versus pre-Crisis Superman.
Hey, look, we're not even talking about the team up between Spider-Man or Superman and Muhammad Ali. So, we got
to. Clay, you were going to say something.
Who would you like to see in the DC universe with the Dark Phoenix?
Oh, the Phoenix Force.
Dr. Fate.
Nah.
Oh wow.
Starfire.
Mm.
I just think that will look cool.
Batman.
No, he
Batman,
would want
really?
the
Because it
Phoenix.
was
Jason Todd.
Ultimate power. The ultimate
Phoenix was-
power for a guy who could just. I mean, he could finally take
Whoa.
care of his rogues gallery.
I know a what if that would be so over the top. Pre-crisis Guy Gardner with the Phoenix Force.
Whoa.
Oh
God, yes.
Oh,
I-
first thing he does, he comes after Batman for punching him in the face.
I got Guy Gardner and Hank Pym team up, and it's a book called Assholes.
and ironically, Hank Pym shrinks down and goes into Guy Gardner's ass. So it all comes together. No, wait. I've got a team up. I want to see Zatanna and Scarlet Witch.
Ooh.
Yes. Oh, that would be cool.
That'd be amazing.
And then of course Dr. Fate and Doctor Strange, right? I think.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
technically almost had that. If they'd actually gone through with the original JLA versus Avengers with Busick and Perez back in the 80s, they would have been the ones fighting each other.
Can you imagine what happens if Doctor Strange puts on the helmet of Naboo?
Oh fuck!
That
That's
would be so cool.
Because I know from watching what is it, Young Justice, like the stronger of a magical being you are, like the stronger you're gonna be as Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
So,
What
interesting.
character from Marvel do you think would join the Batman family?
who would he adopt? Who would Bruce adopt?
I mean,
Bucky.
yeah, like I mean, he's Bucky.
Bucky. Rick Jones.
I think I would read a Red Hood Winter Soldier series.
Yeah, that would be good.
That does make sense. He adopts Bucky and he turns Bucky into the Winter Soldier.
He takes that young kid who never becomes the Winter Soldier and
Yeah.
just turns him into the darkest
Yep.
sidekick ever.
Yep.
Like
exactly.
darker than Damien.
Yep. He's like,
Wow.
you don't need that arm, and like, just saws it off.
What DC
Alright.
character do you
Oh.
want to see in the
Wait,
Avengers?
Well, hold on. What about for a Bat family? Kitty Pryde.
Kitty Pryde.
Just think everything she's gone
She is
through.
very good at putting costumes together. And she's always changing her identity and her name. So
Bring back the Sprite costume.
yeah, that's right.
So this is like a strange callback, but it popped into my head the other day. You know, when I was reading like X-Men and Excalibur in the mid to late 80s, Rachel Summers as Phoenix was a huge part of that storyline.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Clearly she's still around. What happened to her? Is she still Phoenix? Like, what the hell's going on with Rachel Summers? I haven't seen her in ages.
She's in
She's still
in
the
Otherworld.
Krakoa.
Yeah, she's in Otherworld helping out Betsy, like kind of
Well-
run things there.
Well, I know you weren't reading, Josh, but back when they sort of did, when they refixed the, oh God, I can't remember what event book it was anymore, but back when they had, it was basically when the X-Men had the mansion in Central Park, and it was, and basically Old Man Logan was a part, when current time Wolverine was dead inside the adamantium like statue, and Old Man Logan was a part of the team. That was Rachel Summers who was a part of the team on there. So it was Shadowcat, it was Kitty Pryde, Rachel Summers, and I want to say Storm with Colossus, Nightcrawler, and Old Man Logan.
Oh wow.
But
Okay.
her history's been retconned so many times, and now that we have sort of she sort of still has the memories of like 80s Excalibur, but she's not the same Rachel Summers as 80s Excalibur, and isn't part of the Phoenix Force, because the Phoenix Force is, the Avengers now.
Yeah, I was
Echo is the new event.
about to show you guys. Yep.
Echo's the new Phoenix.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's why they delayed the series, because they need to change it to this.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. They're not doing that. Although they do have hinted at mutants. Anyways, let's I think this is a fun show. We'll probably revisit the topic of like putting some of these
Yeah,
smack
I want to see a Teen Titans New Mutants team up against the Demon Bear.
and Clarion.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me talk about a few things.
Yeah, we got so off track. Sorry. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
well, I know you got a few more things, Clay, so I'll come back to you as well.
Okay.
So I just some more watches. American Auto's back, season 2. I
Okay.
didn't think that show was gonna come back, but
I didn't
here
think
we
so
are.
either. I was
I didn't
surprised by this. Yeah, has it gotten better? Is it that kind of show
Uh,
that season 1 was rough and it's going to get?
I think they're doing the same thing they did with The Office, where they want to make what's the name of the, I don't remember who plays the CEO.
Oh yeah, from
Oh.
SNL.
I always think it's Catherine Hahn, but that's not
Right,
her.
it's not. No, I do the same thing. Yeah.
So I think they're doing this thing where they want to make her more likable, because I think that'll kind of trickle down to everyone else in the show. I like the show overall. Like I find it funny in a lot of places.
On a guest star.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you. Yeah,
You remember from SNL, she did the Sweaty Balls sketch.
yes.
that's right.
So I think she's really funny, but yeah, I think they were still trying to find their footing. So I'm glad they gave him another season. I've said it before. I love sitcoms, so I'll just watch them all. I'm still watching the Night Court.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
need to catch up. They just aired what, 3?
Yeah. The third episode was kind of like an on-off. It had its good points and it had its like.
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag, but so we'll see. Maybe they're still trying to work out the kinks too.
Well, the thing I threw out to a friend was, I mean, come on, how hard was it to get through season 1 of Parks?
Right. Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
6 episodes, so not that hard.
Yeah, but we're only 3 episodes into the Night Court. Give them time to find their footing still.
Yeah, same with The Office. Season 1 is kind of a slog
Yeah.
to get through. There's like even that one episode they don't even replay anymore in the reruns.
I will say, John Larroquette still killing it.
Yes,
Oh, from the minute he's on screen,
Yeah.
he's killing it. Yeah, he's so good.
and I think also we need to make. Well, I guess it's hard to separate Melissa Rauch's character from Big Bang
Bernadette.
to
Yeah.
that. So, all right.
I never watched Big Bang, so
Yeah,
I have
same.
no baggage there.
Real quick, she was also in The Office, by the way, Melissa Rauch. She was
Really?
when Pam had her baby, she was the other person in the room.
Oh.
So, anyways, well, let me talk about some comics that I read this week. Some quick things I picked up. If you guys aren't reading Human Target, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what's wrong with you?
I know.
Um,
I'm curious to see how this officially ends.
I love this book. Yeah, and we got one more, but man, this one, woof. Thor number 30. There we go. So this concludes. They had a guest writer, Torn Grunbeck, who is fantastic. Like, she's doing a lot of stuff with Jane Foster and the Valkyries, which was really fun. So I quite enjoy that. My favorite book of the week, probably Sins of Sinister number 1. Like, all this stuff. I mean, Karen Gillan is just such a fantastic writer, but it is like an extra beefy book, and just all the stuff all the little seeds that they have been planted throughout all the X books. Like, Sinister is finally paying them off. So really fun stuff. I picked this up because I like the writer Aubrey Sitterson. Archie versus the World. They describe it as Mad Max Fury Road meets Fist of the North Star. So if that sound with Archie characters, so if that sounds appealing to you, it's just a one shot, and I really like this cover too.
Yeah, the Mad Max is awesome looking.
Yeah, it was really fun. What else?
I love that they do that with Archie. You'll just get like Archie meets the Punisher. You know,
Archie
random stuff like that are so fun.
He's met the Predator twice, stuff like that. But these Batman One Bad Day books continue to be amazing. This is the Catwoman one.
I love that cover. Like, I almost bought it for that cover because it is just beautiful.
Yeah,
it's so.
Damien McKelvey is a fan. Like, he's great. And then G. Willow Wilson's writing the story. So
I saw that, and that almost got me to pick it up. I don't want any of them to ruin the Riddler one for me. It's
I have
so
Jamie
good.
McKelvey art up in my house. I love
Yeah.
Nice.
Look, Josh, I've yet to not really enjoy one of them. So
Okay, no, that's good. Then I just might be selective of which ones I get. I really don't care about reading the Penguin.
yeah,
But
dude, the Pinna one's really good too.
is it? Fuck.
Yeah.
All right. God damn it.
Yeah, maybe wait till like there's like a sale or something. this was a cover I picked. This just a variant that I picked up for Sins of Sinister because Artyom and Emma Frost, and this was a cover I picked up for Thor, by Maria Wolf.
Ooh, that's awesome.
It's super fucking rad. I love Wolf's art, like all the covers. Yeah, they're really cool. But another really cool thing that just wrapped up, Exterminators #5 came out this week. I feel like this book was kind of made for me because it has in the team is Dazzler, Jubilee, Boom Boom, and Wolverine Lara Kinney.
Yeah.
Like those are some of my favorite characters. This is written by Leo Williams, who like Adrian and I got to meet a couple years ago at a convention.
Yeah.
Really cool with art by Carlos Gomez. Like there's a lot of cheesecake in this book, but there's also just a lot of like really fun stuff. Like it's on purpose. I think it's
a fun
part of the
book. I
story.
read the first one.
Yeah, it's part of the story, but it finally wrapped up, so I finally picked it up and read it. Some really fun stuff happens, and I just like those characters. I like following them along. So yeah, it's really really fun. I haven't read this one like Josh. I'm still. It's hard to read because sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I'm too dumb to get what's going on.
No, you're not alone, man, and I'm glad you said that because I have to almost like prepare myself to read it. Like I feel like if I had shrooms, it'd be a much easier
But
read.
look at this stuff. Like, what am I supposed to get out of this page?
Josh, I know a guy.
All right, good.
Is his name Mario?
Pull that.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
it's I just turned to the same page, Daniel, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I love his art so much though. Like it's just nothing you expect. It's the same vibe when Bill Sienkiewicz was doing Moon Knight.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. That's such a good comparison.
Also, it's Disney's 100th anniversary, so like my shop held this for me.
Oh, nice.
It's a what if the Avengers were the Disney characters. I haven't read it, but
see, overlap.
Yeah, it works. And then I went to the DC Infinite app and I read. I don't have it here physically, but I started reading Superman Blue and Red. Do you guys remember those from a couple months ago? They are like, I was on a stream with my friend this week, and somebody said that Superman is a boring character, and I'm like, I just don't think you've read the right Superman stories.
Yeah,
like,
right.
These are just little vignettes of Superman. Like in one of them, he talks about how he was in a country and they weakened his powers and they held him hostage for like months. Like it was written by John Ridley, so like it was really interesting. And then I really like the stories where somebody saves Superman instead of him like saving them, like a kid or something, which that happens as well. And then just some stories about him being a journalist as opposed to just being Superman. Like there's so much to do with that character. So I'm reading those on the Infinite app because the Infinite app on the Ultra tier, you can read trades and hardcovers. Like you can read collections instead of the single issues. So it's a lot easier to read. And also you can get anything that's a month old in the DC app. So it's pretty much worth it for me to go back and just kind of read some of the things I'm not reading weekly. Like I'll just wait till they're collected and then I'll read them a month later because they're on. The collections for DC are always very well done.
Is the DC app like the Marvel app, which is basically a reskinned original Comixology app?
I think the DC app is better. I only use it on my iPad. My only complaint is for navigation purposes. For some reason, I can only do it in vertical mode.
Weird. All right.
I can read in horizontal, but I can only rummage through the app in vertical.
Well, I only ask, excuse me, because with the news this week that a huge portion of all the layoffs at Amazon, the Comixology team got gutted.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I feel bad for them, but they fucked that up so badly, right? But one of the knock-on effects I heard was that the Marvel app, which is basically just a reskin one, will not be getting any more updates. So I'm kind of curious, like, is Marvel now going to hire their own team to manage that app? Are they going to completely redo
Now,
it? Are they?
is it the comics app or the unlimited app? I think there's a distinction there. I think the unlimited is a service by because
Whichever one you get codes for when you buy the issue.
That's the Marvel Comics app, which is just it's yeah. So I think there's a difference there. That one is for sure just a reskin of like.
Yeah, I mean it looks identical to the old Comixology. I mean, like to the good Comixology app, not the terrible Kindle one. Yeah.
Yeah, this just shows that like Amazon's not going to put much effort into Comixology. It's just going to be a Kindle version that's just going to be a piss poor version of what they had.
It almost makes you wonder, like, why? What was the point of purchasing it back then? Like,
right.
You're not getting appeased. You're not
to control it,
but you're just like, I don't know. I haven't bought. Like the only thing I do Comixology for is the unlimited stuff because I like the original stuff. I think it was a good place for creators to like bring out their comic.
Substack's better.
Yeah. I mean, Substack is definitely more of a for the smaller stuff because in Comixology, like for one thing, you get all of them, right? Whereas Substack, you have to individually go fish for them. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't actually purchased anything from Comixology in a long time, other than the monthly subscription. My
fear is that they do away with Comixology and we lose what we bought through them, and they revamp to Comixology 2.0 and just say you have to rebuy everything because they could do that.
I think it's just going to be integrated into the Kindle stuff. I don't like because the Kindle.
Well, but it is already. But you're saying there's just no longer like a separate app.
Right.
It's just
all.
Comics are the same as books. That's what they're saying.
Here's the thing that really pissed me off, and I just sort of stumbled on this because there was in the Comic Scholars email list I was on, someone was asking about something printed in the back of a release of Silver Surfer Parable. And I remembered I bought it on Comixology a long time ago. So I opened up Amazon. It's the first time I've tried to access my library in ages. I am 99% sure that when I bought it on Comixology, it was the full story. And I went into my library and they had only given me issue 1. So they split it up as it originally came out in issue 1 and 2, and they only gave me 1. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I bought the collection. And I was really pissed off about it. So anyway, I will admit I may be wrong. Maybe I didn't, and I foolishly thought I was buying the whole story. But I remember reading it. Like, I don't know. Anyway.
I know I had a copy of Die Hard Year 1. That was I think it was a Howard Chaykin book done by I think Boom Studios. Digitally, and now it's gone. Like, so they can just I don't know if it's a licensing thing that they can expire, but yeah, you can have your digital books just deleted.
Wonderful. Just wonderful.
All right.
You want me to finish up?
Yeah, Clay, go ahead and finish up, and then we'll move on to a few things we want to talk about. Okay. Maybe.
Netflix had a great documentary called The Pez Outlaw, and just because like, we're collectors and part of that kind of community, same as like Pez collectors are. It's a great perspective to watch another community in this documentary, but it's mainly about a guy who found a loophole in he loved Pez and wanted to start selling them. And so this is pre-internet. It's insane. He found out where they were being made and flew there. It was over in Europe, and would get like cheap ones from people and come back to America. They'd be like prototypes and stuff, and he'd start selling them for like tons of money. He discovered this collector's market, and so he just started flying back and forth to Europe, buying these huge bundles of Pez that were only available in Europe because there's a Pez America and a Pez International.
Interesting.
I know you learn about so much stuff in this documentary, but the funniest thing is that the Pez company never, like, whenever you have a copyright on something, you submit it to, like, I guess where the border is, to say, like, you can't import this product because we have the rights to it. Pez never presented them with that document that said that no one can import Pez stuff. So this guy would just come through with bundles of Pez, and they would pour it out looking for drugs and everything, and it would just be Pez dispensers. And he would come here selling them for like $1,200 a pop.
Damn.
And he was buying them for like 57 cents, I think. And so he became this guy who was creating, this underground market of collectible Pez's. And then the Pez company went after it viciously. And it just shows, sometimes, we are fans of stuff, but ultimately it is a company that we're kind of, buying these from. And Pez went to battle this guy, and it really kind of wrecked his life. It's an interesting story, but it's how you can kind of get caught up in fandom. I really enjoy it. But there's a lot of twists and turns in it. And for Mark's show, the Unsocial Spectators, I'll be doing tomorrow. We are in 2003 and had to do Kill Bill. So great revisiting this film.
I need to rewatch it. It's so good.
So good. And then rewatched X2. X2 is probably the best X-Men film.
Really? Okay. I've rewatched the first one. I remember hating the third one, although I love the opening scene.
X2 doesn't hit the landing very well at the end. Because they try so hard to say Dark Phoenix is coming that it's just wasted. You had this terrible scene where Jean has to go out and stop the water, but she's going to get the plane to go. Why does she have to go outside to do this?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. But everything else, like the opening, Nightcrawler just...
That is, you're right.
Tearing up the White House and kicking ass, like him and Storm. I mean, that's the most we get out of Storm in those early X-Men films, is like her engaging with Nightcrawler and her having so much kind of hate in her heart for people and his religious.
Well, not even that, power wise. I mean, when the Blackbird is invading those two things, she creates this whole valley of tornadoes. And you realize outside of Jean, Storm is the most powerful fucking X-Men. They really show how powerful she could be in there, and then after that, it's she can fly a little bit and she can do lightning, and that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I loved it until I get to the end, and I just don't understand Jean's need to be outside of the Blackbird and doing all that stuff, and then sacrificing herself just to water. I mean,
right.
It's really kind of weird. But I loved everything up to that, because when I got to that, I kind of just got up and walked out of the room. But I know I will not watch X3 again. I learned my lesson from that.
I do distinctly remember. So I remember the opening. It's X3, the opening scene where a young
Jean Grey.
Right, but it's God damn it.
They do a de-aging on
yes, and they go to her house, and she basically just murders everyone. I remember that scene being terrifying. I'm like, oh, this is going to be good, and then the movie shits the bed after that. It has this great opening, and then it just sucks. So,
I mean, I think I would put this on one of our Patreon lists, that if you wanted to make us watch X3 and Dark Phoenix back to back.
Oh, dear God.
And find the worst moments of both films. I would love to put that.
Why would you want to watch both those craptastic films when you could watch a great film like Green Lantern?
Let me find the rim shot on the iPad.
Yeah.
No.
So are you going to sit here and tell me that both those movies are better than Green Lantern?
Wow.
Yeah, Clay.
Fuck.
If you put a gun to my head and said you had to watch one or the other,
I will say I would the one thing I do enjoy from X3 is Hank McCoy.
Yeah.
You mean Frasier?
Yeah, I love Fraser Beast,
That makes sense.
and I just love like the stuff they gave him because it's just a weird casting that works. Even though they do like obviously he has a lot of wire work, you can tell the wire work isn't very, as good as other films at the time. But I think X3 is better than Green Lantern. There's no scene in Green Lantern that's redeemable at all.
What about when he makes like a Hot Wheels track for his car?
Shit, that was badass.
I'm gonna go to bat for one scene in Green Lantern, and that is when he goes to Oa the first time. And you get that Green Lantern universe. That's pretty badass. I did like that.
That's like, but that's also like look what we're not going to give you.
Right? True, very true.
That's
but
like
a little
this is
bit of
great
it
for a trailer, but it's not really going to be in the rest of the film.
Well, it's where the final battle takes place, right?
Green Lantern,
or am I
really
just remembering?
No,
really fun after credit scene.
I don't even remember it.
Jesus. It was Sinestro. It was just
Sinestro.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
And it's so weak because it's just kind of like, hey, I'm going to be bad.
X3, Green Lantern,
No, I was. Fuck, I can't even. Dark Phoenix is so bad.
No. That's at the bottom of the bowl for everything. I mean, you can't. If you even try to say Dark Phoenix is better than Green Lantern, you are reaching up your ass just to find some little hope.
I'd like everything about Nightcrawler except he's a killer, which makes no sense because he's a kid, but he kills somebody in Dark Phoenix. And that makes no sense.
He was a fucking alien. That's not really killing somebody.
He cracks his neck with his tail.
An alien, not a human. And we again, we have how many?
Yeah, we don't know if that kills aliens. We don't know if aliens die when you break their necks.
That's true.
Yeah.
What we can all agree is
Superman
is the worst fucking comic book movie, and it's below all of those.
No.
Shout out Leonard Kim in the chat.
Leonard Kim, you need
Dark Phoenix is a fun movie. Interesting.
I had a good time. I had a good time.
I'll be honest. I think X3 is more fun than Dark Phoenix.
I go back and forth over there. I like the scene where Jean kills Scott or not. Because
I like, what I do like in Dark Phoenix? I mean, I do like the mall scene that's cut out of the film. The deleted scene of the mall.
Oh, yeah. I get those.
I thought the mall scene was from Apocalypse.
Yeah, that was from not Days of.
Oh, that was in Apocalypse.
That's when they're in the music store and they actually see the record with Dazzler on the cover. That's Apocalypse.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, and I have to question. I have to question Clay's thing now because he's merging these all together. He's not sure which film is which.
Because I've watched them one time. Because it's like fool me once.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact.
I shit again and go. You had Oscar Isaacs and you fucked up.
I've never watched any of those X-Men movies after X3. None of them. First Class.
You're missing out on Days of Futures Past. You're missing out.
First Class is fun. Days of Future Past is fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Days of Future Past is really just a bro show. I mean, it is not what the comic is. It really takes away the Kitty Pryde stuff, but it is a bro hangout of Logan, Magneto, Quicksilver, you just have those fun, cool moments in there.
It's a buddy cop show, basically.
I would love now that they could redo the X-Men to do a real Days of Future Past that focuses on Kitty Pryde, a 15-year-old trapped in the future, while her older version comes back to her 15-year-old body and has to explain that they need to save the future.
But here's the problem, and maybe enough time has passed; it's not an issue anymore. But the X-Men franchise has attempted to do so many of the core big stories and fucked all them up that if they tried to redo it again, would the public go for it? Right?
Yes.
I think they did. I think they did justice to God. What is it? God Kills Men. Whatever the X2 was based on.
God Loves Man Kills.
God Loves Man Kills. There you go. Right. That's.
So
I think it's better when they use when they
Disney's got the
use
one
short
thing.
stories.
Put the X-Men under the MCU label, and people are still going to want to see what's going to happen.
Okay, no, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. And it's weird they've owned them this long, and we still haven't gotten that announcement. I know there's like murmurings when they did the last, like timeline.
Well, you haven't seen Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Fuck, I haven't. You're right.
And don't forget, in She-Hulk, there's that newspaper article that says man with with metal claws.
Well, I'm just still thinking at the end when she's breaking the fourth wall and she's asking Kevin where the X-Men are. So, anyway.
All right, we got a few things. I asked Clay, and did you guys watch the Shazam Fury of the Gods trailer that came out this week?
Yep.
Not the new one. I saw the last one.
Then I think that's what we're gonna do next.
Okay.
I do have another trailer that I want to show you all at the end for like an actual reaction. I just want to watch this and talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
I think it's ready to share.
All right.
Hold on. Let me put on the.
My recommendation goes to a trailer I'd like you guys to watch too, because I'm curious to see what you think.
All right, let's see. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
Yeah.
Yes. Fuck yes.
We are at war. We will annihilate everything. Champions of this realm can do nothing to stop us.
You are very menacing. I just want you to know that.
Fucking Helen Mirren, yes.
I love it. I love it so
A lot has
much.
changed in the last
She's
few
awesome.
years. The wizard gave me superpowers. And then everybody got superpowers.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
All right, here's the situation.
Started from the bottom, now the whole team here.
The daughters of Atlas are coming to hunt us.
Children stole the power of the gods. You ripped it from our father's core.
Okay, I feel like maybe I should be writing all this down.
Give us the powers, child.
Your world will not survive this.
You want these powers? Come get them! Hey, Khaleesi!
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
All right,
Started from the bottom, now the whole team here.
we have one job to do. Save the world.
Billy!
I don't know how we fight powers like this.
I can't do this. Take my powers back. You gave them to me, so you can take them back, right?
I spent millennia searching for a worthy champion. You know exactly what must be done.
Billy, what are you doing? I have to do this.
We end this now.
Yeah, we do.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team here.
Damn.
Wow.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Oh god.
Yeah, but if it was a Thor movie, he'd kill the dragon in the intro.
I had a thought for this. So this is connecting the Wizard Shazam to one other franchise. He goes, "Fine, Billy, I'll take your powers back. Star-Lord, will you be our new champion?"
Oh my God, Star-Lord with Shazam powers.
He's an orphan. Come on, I mean,
That looks badass. I'm a little worried about the fact that DC is not marketing this movie at all. I mean, it's being marketed on like the comics,
yeah.
right? But that's it. Have you seen a single poster or trailer anywhere else? And the other thing that worries me is I feel like they're giving a little bit too much away in that trailer.
Yeah, there's a
So-
lot going on.
That was a complaint I saw when I put it out the video on whatever Thursday, Wednesday. I think this is all from like the first 30 minutes of the movie.
Nah.
And
Really?
the reason I say
Really?
that,
That's too much for 30 minutes. I say
the
that's
reason
fine.
I say that is because the dragon is in all of it, and I don't think the dragon's gonna keep coming back all throughout. I could be wrong, but my feeling is that I think, to me, the conflict starts with that scene where he gets trapped on the dome, and then the Daughters of Atlas take his family. I think that's all part of the first act. And for the most part, like everything that happened, like the fight, all the stuff with the dragon, like I don't think that fight with the dragon is from the end of the movie.
I'm going to say different. I think it is, because there's too much. Because one, you got to introduce the villain. Two, you've got to have them, like, you know, and there's parts where he has the staff. He calls her Khaleesi. He had his whole costume's even more, because it looks like there's dragon scales on his costume. That's from definitely second or third act of the film. This is not at all in the first half hour.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I am down for Helen Mirren. Can you imagine? Go back 20 years and watching Helen Mirren in, I forget what the BBC detective show she was in was. It's the first thing I ever saw her in. Anyway, and you told me in 25 years Helen Mirren's going to be an action movie star starring as the big villain in a Shazam movie. I've been like, I don't know where you're smoking, but I want some. So.
I know, because she played the Queen in 2006. And
fuck, that was that long ago?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love her. She's awesome. She's, of course, in the Fast and Furious family, so
yeah,
much love to the family. But seeing her kick Shazam like that, fucking awesome.
That was awesome.
And Lucy Liu.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, after watching Kill Bill and seeing, like, one of the greatest speeches in Quentin Tarantino films is when she gets up and cuts that boss's head off and then tells everyone how they're going to behave and the things they can talk about and they can't. Nobody delivers it better than her. That is so fucking great. I hope they give her a moment to shine in this film and not just be like
also
the villain.
Lucy Liu I love in the Charlie's Angels movies.
Yeah.
As cheesy, and especially that the Barracuda scene where she comes into, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, with the programmers and the
I do hope they don't waste either of them in this movie, because I feel like they did okay with Mark Strong in the first one, right?
Well, that's the other thing. They set that up. Mark Strong, and what's the name of the worm?
Oh,
they set up in the after credit.
Mr. Mime.
Oh yeah.
We haven't even they haven't even touched on that on any of the trailers.
Yeah, you're right.
The other reason I thought, we don't see a lot. So this is Richard Ziegler, who plays Anthea, who I think it's another daughter of Atlas, but not an evil one like Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren, which we only see this one shot of her in the whole trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So I still think there's a lot that they're not showing us.
Yeah,
they didn't even show us Black Adam.
He's gonna come in at the last minute with a chair.
I swear to God, if this was something filmed before everything went down and they have a post-credit scene with The Rock, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
But it's been talked about so much that he said he wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
no, I think they already did it. That's what I'm saying. What if it's something they already did?
What if it's
maybe they cut it?
The Rock is working us.
Oh, that could be.
So
I gotta admit, if this trailer, if the only thing that was real in this trailer is that Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu are going to be in it with The Rock, and they're all going to fight Shazam, and the dragon is in the first act, I would be excited to watch this fucking movie.
I'm hyped no matter what. The first movie was strong, and it was a breath of fresh air for the no.
I liked it. That scene where they put in the trailer where he jumps off the roof and says Shazam.
Yep.
Yes,
I love that.
Iconic. I mean, it's like what you see from everything. You know.
I mean, what are the three elements you need in a Shazam story then? Because for me, I think you have to show the joy of a kid having superpowers.
Yeah.
You have to show the struggle of a kid becoming an adult, and
I think the family is really important too.
Yeah. I think now, especially because they introduced the family in the first film.
It's more. I know it's more of a recent addition, right? I think whenever Jeff Jones kind of rebooted Shazam, they made the family aspect more important.
Well, no, I mean, you always had the Marvel family. You had you had Freddy. You had the sister.
That's it. It was the three of them. Yeah,
No. There was who was the old guy that thought he had superpowers, but
that was his uncle. He never had superpowers. He always
right.
said
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Uncle
But
Freddy.
so there's a lightheartedness I think that it needs. So for me, the quintessential scene is him sitting at like the table, sipping his drink with her. Like that's what Shazam needs.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to ignore that.
Zachary Levi pulls off the kid attitude perfect.
Yeah.
What'll make this movie is I want to see Tawny the Tiger in suit and bow tie come out and just go.
I just want Mr. Mind back. I mean, he's always been my favorite villain because he's just this little tiny fucking worm with a speaker.
I do like that there's a lot of Mary Marvel compared to all the other kids.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I said this when I did the trailer reaction video, like right now, Mary Marvel is the champion of Shazam in the comics.
Yeah, but
Billy's not a...
No, they free in the new Lazarus God's book, they actually free and Billy's now back as Shazam.
Well, but she
was just like an issue just came out with her, right?
Yeah, like that just happened, right?
Yeah. No, but the Lazarus one just came out too this past week, and they actually freed Billy from the Rock of Eternity, and he's back as Shazam.
We'll see if he stays with his powers. I think they're changing a lot of stuff with Lazarus, but I like Mary Marvel as the champion. Like the series that just kind of led up to this, I really like that one. And it was just called the new champion of Shazam. So I think they're gonna maybe keep her in the forefront for a little bit.
What would y'all love to see as a post-credit sequence? The scene.
Yeah.
So
what would we like to see?
What would y'all want to see?
Well, I have a theory about what's going to happen just based on that trailer, because it's very clear something bad is going to happen to Billy. So my theory is Billy becomes the new wizard. He becomes the new Shazam, right? So he can no longer be Shazam. He's the one that bequests the powers onto people.
Interesting.
That's my guess. I don't think they're going to kill him.
That's why Freddy was like, Billy, don't, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, clearly he's going to have to make some really big decision.
Or Billy being trapped by that in the Rock of Eternity like that could be the big conflict of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So then they all have to get him out. And that's
and that would be like the second or third act.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I like it.
No, they can't really tease anything because there's nothing that we know is coming. So really,
they can't tease anything because only Kyle knows what's going on with Shazam.
Well, okay, so if they don't have Black Adam show up in an credit scene, I feel like they're gonna have to have one of the other characters. So maybe Dr. Fate or Hawkman or Atom Smasher, right? One of them has to show up. So it
you know who'd be cool? Who'd be cool? I think Aquaman would be cool to show up in this movie. Because one, we have the Aquaman movie coming up. Two, there's a lot of little Easter eggs in the first trailer about like when they showed like the action figures of everyone. And there was like a poster and a thing of Aquaman. So I think that'd be cool. Because all this stuff I'm sure is affecting, I don't know. They could work it into a way of like, here's how we're going to lead into the Aquaman movie that's coming out later this year.
I've got it. I know what I want. The end credit scene. Totally unexpected. John Constantine walks in.
Oh,
I live with that. I would live with that.
Keanu Reeves,
and it's still Matt, what's his face, playing him, right? But it's like, but it's like you bring in, because the thing about the Shazam universe is it's more on that magic end, right? So tie that together. So
he walks in, goes to Shazam. Hey, Shazzy, I need your protege's help.
Yeah, exactly. Or if I'm right, and Billy becomes the new wizard, John shows up wanting the Shazam power. See, hire me, DC. Come on, I'm full of good ideas.
Here's my pitch. What I want to see at the end, because we know that Flashpoint is coming. The Flash movie is Flashpoint. Yeah. I want to see different versions of DC characters, but I would love to see the moment, in the Grant Morrison Earth 2 comic, when Lex Luthor, the good Lex Luthor, comes from Earth 2 and says, "Take me to your superheroes." I would love to see Jesse Eisenberg brought back as a completely like a good Lex Luthor from the evil universe, and he sees Shazam and he goes, "Take me to your superheroes."
Interesting.
But he's got to have a perm. He's always got the curly hair in the comics.
Okay, wait a minute. I take that back. Give me John Cryer. Give me a John Cryer. Good Lex Luthor. And I would love to see that because the Flashpoint is coming. I think that's the only thing that they could tease, and they could put something that could be linked to that movie or just something for fun.
What an interesting website you sent me, Kyle. I think they need to work on it a little bit, but
no. But that just if you can you zoom in on that top thing. This is the original Marvel family. From
see. So there's Mary, there's Freddy, there's Uncle. What's his face?
Uncle Dudley.
I don't know the rabbit or
that's
the
Hobby
dog.
the rabbit.
Jesus.
Why is there two Shazams here?
No, so the one in the back that's Hill Marvel. The tall one that's Tall Marvel, and the one in the front that's Fat Marvel. There are three hillbillies who also gained the powers of Shazam during the pre-crisis history. Also,
oh God.
That is got to be a oh God, never mind. I can't think of it.
I want to see hillbillies with
Little Abner.
Little Abner.
Yeah, I wonder if it was like Little Abner and flu.
Yeah.
Huh? Drugs were strong back then.
No. Just trying to sell comics.
Another thing I'd love to see that we wouldn't expect would be the Justice League to show up and ask Shazam to join. You know, that's always a cool thing, but you know that won't happen.
No.
I think
Post-credit scene with the JSA asking him to join.
I've got one even better because we know it's coming, right? Pedro Pascal shows back up as Max, what's his face? And
Max Lord.
And he's putting together the new JLA. And it's going to be Blue Beetle. It's going to be, because that's coming, right? It's going to be Shazam. It's going to be, he's putting
half
together
the
that
team we know, and half the team appears for the first time in that cameo.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. I do have one more trailer that I want to do, but I want to clip this out as a sound video. So let me set this up real quick. So we're gonna watch a new trailer, and I want to get. I grabbed this because it is comics related. It came out a couple of weeks ago, from what I saw, but my buddy Mike shared it to one of the groups that I'm part of with him. So I found it really interesting. But I told Clay what it is, but I want to know you guys' reaction. So we're gonna watch the trailer for Asterix and Obelix: The Middle Kingdom.
Oh, I didn't even know this was coming. Holy shit!
I did not know either. We'll look at all the details, but let's check out the trailer and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. Go French comics, right? French,
I love it.
am I right? Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's check it out.
Is it French or Italian? I guess it's French.
Oh, wait a minute now. Not sure.
J'arrive de Chine. J'ai besoin de votre aide.
Oh.
Rassurez-moi, vous savez où c'est la Chine quand même? Ouais. Même moi, je sais où c'est. Je vais devenir le nouvel empereur de Chine. La mère Cléo, elle va pas s'en remettre. Et mon nom restera gravé dans le marbre de l'histoire.
Ah, j'adore quand tu dis ça, j'adore. Ah, tu le dis bien. Le dis bien.
Pourquoi il faut que toujours on vient nous demander de l'aide à nous? Non et non. Moi, je suis d'accord. J'ai rien en ce moment. Je t'arrête. La princesse et moi, on va se marier. Et tu sais quoi, Bélix? Tu seras mon témoin. Oh, mais c'est pas vrai, il est en train de lui parler, il est en train de nous balancer. Oh,
Vous faites quoi là?
Rien.
Je vais vous montrer comment on se bagarre en Chine.
Moi aussi, je suis amoureux. Je trouve qu'il y a beaucoup trop de coups de cœur dans cette aventure.
Bonjour Bélix.
Bonjour, Fada.
Mais tu m'aimes plus?
Oui, dis oui.
Je l'aime. Tu m'entends?
Comment ça, tu l'aimes?
Comment ça, tu l'aimes? Et ils sont où? Ils sont où, les Égyptiens? Tu sais quoi, Obélix? On mange trop de viande.
Qu'est-ce que tu veux manger d'autre, toi?
Les légumes.
Des légumes. Des légumes? Hein?
De tout ça et des fixes.
Des légumes.
Changez!
Merci. De rien.
De quoi parler quand une pauvre lait?
Oh my god!
Glaive. Et qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Comme la dernière fois, tu t'étais blessé avec. Bon, ça va, ça va.
Essaye de reprendre ta pièce, petit scarabée.
C'est très facile, vous êtes aveugle.
Ne présume jamais qu'un homme ne voit pas parce qu'il est aveugle.
C'est là que tu l'as vu venir. Voilà.
Oh my god!
Oh shit, that looks really good.
I gotta say, at the beginning, I was like, "Oh, this is live action. This is not going to be good." But by the end, I'm like, "Oh fuck, I'll see it."
Yeah, they nailed it. I mean, I'm trying to think of something comparable that has that kind of like live action comedy aspect of the special effects.
I mean, it's almost like right at the other. It's right at the other end of the Tintin movie, right? Which was all CGI, but made everything look real. And this is like, we're going to get all real actors and make it look cartoonish.
So real quick, for people that don't know, can you guys tell us a little bit about the comics? And because I don't think I've ever read any of these.
I never read them either.
I've only read a little bit. So basically, it is a comic about a group of, they're effectively Danes. They're Gauls in the Roman Empire, and Asterix and Obelix both have like unique abilities. I don't really know what those are.
Okay.
But long standing. Like, I guess it is a Francophone comic. I'm not sure. Is it Belgian or?
I thought it was Frankobelt. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And just real quick from the, I mean,
apparently it's got a cast.
I recognize a bunch of people. Marion Cotillard for sure.
I knew that one.
The guy that plays the Emperor, he's from the Ocean's 11 movies, and I'm sure he's been in other stuff, but that's where I know him from. We have
who is McFly and Carlito?
I don't know. We could take a look. And also one of my favorite soccer players, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's also there. Like, he's the commander of the fleet, or he's one of the commanders.
Was he the one that did the into the crowd? Yeah. Interesting. I don't know. That looks fun. I will definitely go see that.
Kung Fu Hustle. That was the vibe I was looking for. There it does that live action.
Yeah, that's a perfect comparison. It's live action but feels cartoonish. So
Yep. I'm looking to see. I want to see the director, see what else he's done. So this is going to be released in France on February 1st. I don't know what that means for like a release somewhere else in the US. I was hoping the trailer would have some indication. I think the director's only done French films because all the names on IMDb are in French. So but this looks silly and it looks fun. I really like the little the humor scenes with like the whole conversation about vegetables. I thought that was really really funny. Or when he pulls out the sword.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, last time you cut yourself, so he gave you a smaller one or whatever.
So my only complaint is the guy playing Asterix. I don't know how you would pull this off, but it's almost like he's so short in the comics, you know?
Oh yeah. That's
how do you do that?
Yeah, you'd have to do some like perspective type of Hobbit stuff.
I don't know, but what they showed in the trailer was enough to make me want to watch with subtitles. Even trying to go between that and the effects, because the effects were so good.
Yeah. Oh, the director is playing Asterisk.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
No way.
And then Vincent Castle is Vincent Castle is who I was talking about, who's playing Caesar.
Yeah.
So yeah, this looks interesting. I'm super on board for stuff like this. And there's been other Asterisk and Obelisk movies. There's a whole bunch apparently.
Oh yeah.
Tons of animated ones. I mean, going back to like the 1960s and
I think there was one in the 70s, wasn't there?
Oh yeah.
When I'm looking at some live action ones that look like very similar, like the same actor maybe playing. So
I wonder that dude, the actor playing Obelix, like how you make that live action and look as good as it does is just kind of hilarious. I mean, it works really well.
It's the pants. I think
It is probably the pants. Yeah.
the fact that they're so high up on its waist.
They're so high up.
So that was fun. So yeah, thanks, Mike, for sharing that. I'm definitely gonna cut this out and put it in the channel as well. All right, I think we got to the part of the show. Oh, there was one more thing that I think Clay maybe wanted to touch on since we're so close.
I did watch a docuseries that was on Peacock this week called Paul T. Goldman. Have you guys seen this?
I've seen ads for it, but I haven't watched it yet. Yeah.
I watched the whole thing. I think it's worth watching because it's, I think, 5 or 6 episodes, and they're only like 30 minutes apiece. But the way I'm going to pitch it to you is imagine Michael Scott's Threat Level Midnight. That's what this guy has done. He got to make his own movie and star in it. And it's from a book he wrote and self-published.
Oh my God.
It is insane, but it is well worth watching because at the end of every 30 minutes, there is a hook and a twist that will get you to the next episode, and you can binge it in a quick day. But it's weird because they're filming the movie scenes while the documentary is going on. So they'll stop in the middle of a movie scene and it'll snap back to a moment in reality, if that makes sense. But if you want to pull up the trailer and show the trailer, like I said, this guy has made his own Threat Level Midnight based on what he believes has happened to him in real life. And he may need some counseling or this was his counseling to get through his thing. But it's just a weird comment on fame, and I don't know. Just check it out.
Also, since we're looking at Peacock stuff, Tar, the movie that was nominated for Oscar with Kate Blanchett, is now on Peacock. So
and that new series by
Ryan Johnson. Poker Face.
Poker Face.
Oh yeah,
Tasha Leon.
Yeah, they dropped 4 episodes. I was gonna watch one yesterday, but I saw it was an hour long. I was like, I'm gonna fall asleep. So not because the show's bad, just because
just because you're tired. Yeah.
So
I got you.
Let's watch this Paul T. Goldman and see.
I'm a regular guy that got caught up in extraordinary circumstances. This story is as accurate as it is unbelievable. I couldn't make this up. It happened to me.
Paul, is this what happened?
It's all been put in the book.
I'm a single dad raising my son, Johnny.
I always brought Johnny with me on my first dates. Then I came across a woman, family-oriented, stay-at-home mom.
Audrey? Let's cut there. How does that feel, Paul?
He's the main guy. He's going to play himself.
Guilty as charged, Your Honor.
Wow, that's weird.
Action.
Shortly after we were married,
She was trying to fleece Paul out of money.
What'd you do?
I'm getting a psychic reading.
I'm Terry J. I'm a pet psychic.
I'm sensing that this is bigger than we think.
What? I said that.
That started the discoveries of her secret double life.
She had a secret phone and she had secret addresses.
This is the spot.
This woman must be stopped.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You gonna leave me hanging?
I went and paid a visit to the FBI.
In this story, every time you turn over a rock,
I'm the warrior now.
you'll find several more pebbles.
I get goosebumps.
I'm in full stealth mode.
This case haunts me. It started off here and it just went here.
Beam me up, Scotty. I'm in the Twilight Zone.
I don't know that it makes
No. This is the script now. Don't worry, it'll be great.
That looks incredible.
It is a weird trip, and it is well worth the watch.
So is it, when he wrote a book about his life, is it actually biographical, or is he making it up and then he turns that into the movie?
So what he does is, I don't know. So this guy starts dating this woman,
Okay.
And it's so sketchy. His first wife was a Russian bride, so that's kind of where he's coming from when he meets the second woman.
Okay.
And she claims to be taking care of her mother in another state at times. So she goes, I can only see you these days a week. And so he's like, fine. And then he's like, in love with her. And he's like, I want to marry you. And she's like, well, okay, but we can only see each other these days of the week. And like later she wouldn't have sex. So like she sends him basically an itinerary of when she's there, what they can do, including sex. And she's asking for like healthcare money that she wants him to pay. So like he's writing checks to Blue Cross Blue Shield, but she's saying, make the checks out to BCBS, because she created a fake business called BCBS and she was just cashing the checks. So like when you see him in the trailer go to a trailer park, that's where he was sending the checks and that's where she lived. So he discovers that she was fleecing him. But then he kind of starts making up into a bigger thing. Like he creates, basically by the end of the film, you're going to see an entire cinematic universe he's created from this woman doing him wrong, because the stories get bigger. And then in the last episode, there's a confrontation about what is the truth.
Oh, interesting.
And what is real and what is not, because the director and this guy got a film deal by just tweeting at the director. He just said, hey, I've written this book, and they talked to him. And as you listen to this guy, he wants to make his life just this grandiose deal. The director does a great job at getting to the heart of it at times and what's going on with this guy. But he has taken, he was going through a guy's garbage and pulled out a few things. And when you see these pieces, he put together a story from these pieces that is so insane that you realize, oh, this guy is like Michael Scott. He thinks everything's like a movie and bigger than life. And so by making this is his threat level Midnight.
Interesting.
And he stars in it as a young version of himself up to now. And you can tell how angry he is by how he writes his wife, his ex-wife, and what he does to her in the book and in the movie. It's just crazy. It's worth the time. It really is.
All right, I'm definitely checking this out.
And later came another recommendation for Poker Face. Yeah, I'm gonna start that probably this weekend.
I need to watch that too. I think, we're such big Rian Johnson fans, and my daughter and I love mysteries. So this is, and you can't go wrong with what's her name. Yeah. So,
okay. For next week, maybe, or in the upcoming weeks, we'll probably. I don't think we did a Wakanda Forever show, but the movie's dropping on Disney Plus on February 1st.
Oh, thank God! I still need to see it.
Yeah, if everybody gets to watch it by next week, we'll talk about that. If not, then we'll just do it in the next couple of weeks, so everyone has time to watch the movie. Does anybody have a recommendation? I know Paul T. Goldman was kind of Clay's. I'll recommend this for next week. It's a one-shot, Batman Legends of Gotham. It's Red Hood teaming up with the Outsiders, and I really enjoyed it. It was a really fun read. So we'll have a review for that on the channel. It is written by Andy Diggle, I think. Yeah, Andy Diggle.
Oh, I love it.
Yep. Not John Diggle. Andy Diggle. So, does anybody have anything else?
Yeah, I'll. Oh, you go, Kyle.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, I was just scouring Humble Bundle, and let me share my screen. Screen. I want StreamYard. Okay, there we go. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so Humble Bundle release. It's so massive. A massive bundle. Look at that, 52 books for $25 of just various non D&D 5e RPG worlds and settings. Which is ironic because basically Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro completely backtracked yesterday. They announced they're not updating the OGL. They're not revoking 1.0A. It's kind of stunning. Like what other industry has a community that can come out and both argue against changes and with their pocketbook convince the CEOs that have no idea about what they're running because they just come from little CEO universe, right?
Yeah.
And convince them, no, we are your audience and fuck you. and so, WotC completely did a 180. It's kind of impressive. Anyway, this bundle is great. I mean, books like Southlands is incredible. The Blight, I'm a big Richard Pett fan, and that's his setting. Old School Essentials is a good system. Castles and Crusades. I mean, and then it just goes on and on and on and on. I mean, it's so many books. So anyway, and that's got 14 days left on it. So if you're interested, go check it out.
Kyle, what did you have?
I didn't have a recommendation. I just wanted to show what I got at Half Price Books this week.
Oh, yeah. One second. Let me pivot you.
Yeah. So going along my not buying pops, but always finding one that I want to kind of pick up. I ended up getting Elroy Jetson.
Oh,
hey,
right.
Oh,
that's
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, I just find it random. Was like, okay, that's a must buy. Ended up picking. They had all the series there, and I ended up getting the full first War of Robotech Macross Saga for $10 on DVD.
Nice.
Whoa, that's a steal.
Yeah, they had both, and they had the other two seasons there too. So but this one was 10. The other one was I think another one was 10, and the other was 20. And then I found a trade paperback for Volume 3 of Strangers in Paradise.
Oh, nice. I think. Hang on. I used to have those. Do I still have them? No, I don't. I sold them because I got a humble bundle with all of
you sold them to Half Price Books, and you sold it to Half Price Books, and now Kyle has your.
That may be mine. I still, because I had the first 3 pocket omnibuses.
Cool haul, good stuff. Okay, well, yeah, this was a fun show. Got a lot of interesting topics, but yeah, we'll definitely be talking about some more of that stuff in the future. I think we're gonna have to revisit for sure the Marvel acquiring DC.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
That'd be a fun topic. So yeah, as always, thank you everyone for watching. Stay tuned. We have a bunch more stuff here coming up in the next couple of days. Some anime reviews for sure. Some comic reviews for next week. Next week, there's some really interesting comics coming out. I was looking at my pull list, and there's a really it's a small week for DC, but I'm really excited to see how Dark Web ends. I can't believe I've enjoyed that event so much after not reading Spider-Man for a couple of years. And then also that Flash 1 Minute War has a one shot this week, like a special.
I am really interested in that book. That just sounds like such a cool idea.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. It's weird. It's a small week for I guess it's the 5th week for them this month, so it's only 5 books. But they're all pretty good. We'll be talking about all of them on the channel. So, okay. Well, does anybody have anything else before we get out of here?
Nope.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
Peace.
And let's get out of
Let's
here.
ride.
Thanks everyone for watching.
Little loves you.
Oh yeah. Clay.
Hell, Bebo.
Josh.
Simon Center, get the fuck out.